here I am, in the place to be. Mr. K&B, you can't fuck with me. Extra sexy, extraordinary. Palms are hairy, your mama pop.
Okay. So, okay.
I am doing my affectations.
You know why? Why does Leia need to be in the whole Obi-Wan arc?
Because she's a small child, they can sell various things like Grogu was for the Mandalorian.
I already told you they got that little robot droid thing. I can't remember its name to say his like. And you want to know something?
Lola.
Mm-hmm. Lola has made it into the little opening now in the last episode of 4.
What do you mean?
Like, you know when they do the little shiny on the face of the droids? Lola's there now.
Yeah.
What up, y'all? This is K&B the Sexy Ninja.
I'm Doug.
Welcome to the Sexy Ninjacast that drops every Sunday. This is going to be nice, quick, to the point. We're going to talk about Obi-Wan Kenobi episode 3 and 4. I did the first 2 with Phil, and this podcast is powered, it's fueled, it's made strong by crazyhoodiez.com with a Z, crazyhoodiez.com. All designs made by Big Daddy. And go check out his podcast, Big Daddy Forever. Also go check out his YouTube channel, Big Daddy is C+ Studios. You can catch that podcast. He drops it like it's hot. He takes questions. So go support that. And now let's just jump right on in. How are you, my friend?
I don't know anymore when it comes to this. Like it's not it's not the worst thing, and it's getting a little bit better as it goes along. I know you guys already talked about part 1 and 2, but there's things that happened in those parts where I was just like, do we need to make this? Like, do we need to have this be a series that has so many like filler things in it? And we've kind of moved to making things a bit more.
We got 2 episodes left at this point. So
and these last 2 episodes have not been very heavy on the filler. They've been a lot more story-centric, which makes me like the first 2 episodes where I was just like, can we move this along, please?
You could have done the first, let's do backtrack real quick. You could have done the first episode with the first 2 episodes could have been 1 episode.
Yeah.
To get him to get like, okay, I will go do this thing. My problem is, like, don't get me wrong, I like the fact, I like this kid as Leia. But it was just one of those things when she showed up, I was like, what did I say? We can't leave these damn Skywalkers alone?
There's not a series that they don't touch in some way or another. Even in The Mandalorian, the end of the 2nd season, you get Luke. So, like... Yeah. None of this Disney series can be their own thing anymore.
Well, that's the thing I don't like about it is, like, you harped so hard after the sequel trilogy. You failed in many ways.
Although, to be fair, sorry, I hate to interrupt on your thought on that. Technically, Vader... It's a Skywalker. Yeah. So he was going to be a part of this one way or another.
One way or another. Here comes Vader. He's going to get you, and burn you.
He's like, hey, you know what you did to me like all those years ago on Mustafar? Payback!
Oh, yeah. So was going 3 and 4. I liked 3. I like the fact that Vader is just vicious and snaps some kid's neck like it was nothing. Yeah. Just book.
Prior to that, though, when they're on the planet, Obi-Wan's just like, hey, we got to the spot we're supposed to meet someone at. They're not here. They're not going to come. Bye. And you're like, dude, wait like a little bit.
Yeah. So, and the I don't know. I blame Leia for most of what's going on right now because when she wouldn't listen to Obi-Wan in episode 2 and now everything, and now they're on this planet here where they're trying to get off, and then Obi-Wan has to try to face Vader.
Yeah, if they could have just escaped that first planet quietly, series over.
And that's what, going into the 4th episode, that's what when she was trying to interrogate Leia, then she's like, you know what, fine, we're going into the torture room basically and whatnot. I was like, nothing's gonna happen to her. Yeah.
They're not. I mean, even in episode 5, you don't really see Han get tortured. Like, they're not going to show you the torture of a small child.
No,
they wouldn't even
that's
do
not
that
what I mean. I meant with Leia there's no real stakes because we know she's going to be okay. We know Obi-Wan's going to be okay.
Little do you know that the Obi-Wan that we saw in episode 4 was actually a clone created on Camino of him so the series could go move
Speaking
forward.
of clones, Jurassic World needs to talk about clone work.
Yeah.
But that's for another day. But no, I'm liking the first 2 episodes. I was like, okay, fine. And I remember talking to you about it, and I said, okay, now 3rd episode, drop lay off. Now we can go home. Take off. That's the end of the day.
And that if that had been the catalyst to now everybody knows Obi-Wan Kenobi's alive, so they're gonna start hunting him. So he feels like he drops Leia off and he can't go back to Tatooine. He's got to fake his death somewhere or something like that again. I would have been cool with that, but now it's just this tag along that does more harm than good most of the time.
Yeah, and with this last episode with the plan and trying to get in there, I was like, man, the Empire really, really needs to work on their security, because anybody and everybody can just
walk right in.
Just walk right on in and just wear, even if they're just wearing a uniform.
Now they make a reasoning for at least part of that when they're just like, well, they don't have a shield generator because who's going to be stupid enough to attack them?
Yeah.
But I will say, out of episode 4 is probably my favorite one so far, because it has a lot more of Obi-Wan being Obi-Wan. That whole thing with the glass.
Oh, that was badass.
That was pretty awesome. He's using his lightsaber again, which he didn't use in the first 2 episodes, I don't think.
No, he didn't use it in the first 2. He barely sparked it in the third one. In the third one, he was getting his ass handed to him by Vader.
Well, and he's still injured and weak and all that stuff from being burnt, and you're just like, cool. But no, the other person with him, what's her name? Tala? Something like that? I don't remember what her name is. But no, the woman that goes with him to invade it, I love the part where the third sister goes in there and she's just like, so you're a spy? Well, yes. And she's looks at her like, whoa, what?
And the third sister is finally toned down for me. Like she wasn't in the first 2 episodes.
She was just crazy in the first episodes.
Yeah, and now I feel like she's a little bit more tame, more calm. I don't know if that's a director's thing, going with the series. Hey, let's bring it down a little bit.
Well, and I mean, obviously they didn't wait until it was recorded and seen to start recording the episodes. But yeah, then Vader just walks in the 4th episode, just picks her up.
Oh my god!
I told you what was going to happen if you failed. She's like, I let them go. Which I was just like, maybe Vader was just like, hey, so this plan that ultimately didn't work to kill Obi-Wan Kenobi a long time ago, I'm going to do that again when we capture Princess Leia again, when we have her on the Death Star.
Well, I was thinking the whole time, okay, this is Vader's daughter. I would assume if you had Leia, there would be some sense in the Force of being like, wait, they have my kid, and I know he doesn't know at this point, to a certain degree. Yeah. But it was just one of those things where I was just like, I don't know if while she's getting interrogated, she's being caught, she's being treated bad, you would think in the Force would tell Anakin something like, hey, your kid is in danger in some sort of way.
It's not even that. It's like when the third sister's interrogating her and trying to use her stuff on her mind stuff. She's like, are you supposed to be doing something? And I'd be like, is this not a thought that wow, maybe this kid is Force sensitive?
Oh no, she was just like, is this eye staring contest?
Is it a staring contest? Yeah. But ultimately it makes me think that third sister, obviously, third sister is either going to die or she's going to be turned. Turned to good again.
I don't think so. I think she's going to get her neck snapped by Vader.
I think she's going to lose in a fight to Obi-Wan.
I'm calling Vader just because I feel like she's going to keep failing again and again. And then Vader's like, I told you. And there's going to be a season 2, so she could move on.
Do we need a season 2 of this? Okay, there have been comic books, countless comic books, books, and other things like that.
There's a current Obi-Wan series out right now.
Yeah, but it's. I gotta be honest. The series they need to make is Vader, and they need to take it from the comics. They need to make that Vader series from the comics where immediately following his turn, everything that happens, how he gets his new lightsaber after Mustafar, stuff like that. They need to make that series where Obi-Wan, you're just like, he's supposed to pretty much just be a desert hermit for the most part of it. He's supposed to be watching Luke. That's literally how we end him in the movies.
I know, and
I will watch over the boy.
What's weird is because she knows a bit. Leia later on in episode 4 knows a Ben Kenobi who served with her father,
Not the person that she knew, though.
Yeah, not the person that she knew. That's why a little continuity error, I think, is right there.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, oh, well, we can overlook that. No, you really can't, because she says, I am looking for Ben Kenobi.
Mm-hmm.
I am looking for this person who fought with my father, who I never met.
So
and they're
her
making
recording says Obi-Wan Kenobi, and in the earlier episodes, people were kind of covering it up, being like, well, his name was Ben. So she only called him Ben.
Yeah.
But then we have in the 4th episode, when Third Sister's interrogating her, Obi-Wan is we're going to catch him and kill him. And you're just like... And she reacts to that. She's like, no, so she knows Obi-Wan Kenobi and Ben Kenobi are the same person.
Yeah, and you're right. I don't know, I was getting my brain kind of mixed up there. But no, that little continuity error is kind of like, wait a minute, okay, so, and everyone's like jumping into this theory, like, oh my God, that's why Leia names Kylo Ben, and
no, the reason she names it is because of the person that helped save her from the Death Star, and that was someone that her brother had high regards for. It has nothing to do with this.
Well, they're building that relationship up in the sense of...
But they're not supposed to have this relationship.
They're not supposed to have this relationship.
Or else it would be, hey, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you helped my father and me all these years ago. We're calling for you to help us again. You are our only hope. Not, hey, you served with my father in the Clone Wars and yada, yada, yada. Nothing has to do with, like, the past 10, 15 years.
You remember that time when me and you went on this weird little adventure, and I got kidnapped and you tried to get me and I was a little shit and I caused all this ruckus and me and you went on this adventure. Then we went to this little water tower or whatever.
Because you no matter how much life you've lived between the time you were 10 and the time you're in your early 20s, if you were 10 years old, kidnapped, taken off world, and had all this stuff, you're going to remember this, especially when there was a Jedi involved.
Have they said rebellion yet?
Not that I know.
I'm waiting for that moment, like in Solo.
I'm waiting for hope.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that moment, just like in Solo, when me and you turn to each other, when she's like, you're like, don't you say it.
Don't
you
just say it. It's a rebellion.
You're like, yeah!
No, well, but it's, to be fair, almost every Star Wars property has that. That was the end of Rise of Skywalker that I ruined for you with, I'm Rey Skywalker. And I was just like, no.
Oh yeah, you took that away from me.
So if I wasn't gonna have that moment, you weren't gonna have that moment. And they do that in every movie. Like,
well, it's funny when I backtrack now, and like I really remember when you were texting me one time about how the sequel trilogy it doesn't really add anything to Star Wars in general, like the prequels do, like the original.
The prequels have a story to tell to get to a point. Where it's gone from there, they don't seem to have a point.
And I was talking to a Star Wars nerd at the restaurant I've been working at part-time at, on campus, and I looked at him, and he's a big Star Wars nerd, dude, but he loves everything. And I was talking to him.
That must be nice.
He's young. And we were talking, and I was just like, all right, I go, here's the test before we can continue any conversation about Star Wars. What did you think of The Last Jedi? And he goes, is this a test? I'm like, this is a test. What did you think of The Last Jedi? He goes, I didn't care for it. I said, all right, cool. We can keep talking.
What is that from? Is this a test? Yes.
Yeah.
I can't remember what I don't think it's from Star Wars.
Yeah.
But it's from something else. Either way. Well, no, and I have never said that The Last Jedi is good. I don't think many people have ever said that, except for people that are
weird.
I told you about the thing where when we were talking about Fantastic Beasts: Secrets of Dumbledore. I watched a review for it where someone made the thing of like, or maybe it was Crimes of Grindelwald that they were talking about, but they made this comment where it's like, this is the movie for Harry Potter fans that may be technically a bad movie, but Harry Potter fans Harry Potter fans like it. He's like Last Jedi, where technically speaking, Last Jedi was probably a good movie, just Star Wars fans hate it. And I was just like, I can kind of understand where you're coming from that, but the problem is, and this is the thing with like mediocre Marvel movies, there's an expectation, there's a lineage. So when you half-ass produce something, it's not just bad, it's terrible. It's Justice League. It's the first Justice League, where it was fine. It was okay. But something of that importance should not just be those things. So Kenobi, going back to what we're talking about, yes, you have Jude Law in there, not Jude Law, Ewan McGregor.
Well, Jude Law is getting a Star Wars show, so.
Which, for real, like, I get those two mixed up all the time. But you have Ewan McGregor back as Obi-Wan Kenobi. I love him as Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like, he is the highlight of this show for me. But you have all of these other things that are just fine. The entire subplot with Leia is stupid. Like, I feel like there could have been somebody else that we don't know if they exist or not in Star Wars. Like, imagine if Obi-Wan Kenobi, instead of being about Leia, was actually about Obi-Wan helping Ahsoka.
Yeah,
Which and minus Mando season 2, technically. Like, if this had come out before Mando season 2, and we don't know that she's alive.
Yeah, and it's just that I just don't understand. Like you said, we got to sell toys here, and we got we introduce a new Lola.
That's what 90% of this is now.
Yeah, and that's kind of, I don't know,
Disheartening.
It's disheartening, and it's also one of those things too where it's just like, I was super hyped for this. I was like, oh, Kenobi, hell yeah, let's do an Obi-Wan Kenobi. But I don't know. And people are going to be like, oh, why are you bitching about the kid? As soon as they introduced Leia, I was like, all right, for real? Come on. Like, and then I talked to somebody about it next day. Like, you didn't like that Leia? Oh, my God, it was, that's so awesome. I'm like, I'm sick of the nostalgia crap. Like, fucking give me something new. Quit harping on, like, the past in so many sense, because we talked about that with Jurassic World.
Yeah, I was going to say, like if we do a Jurassic World review, you better keep that in mind, because...
No, you asked me. You asked me right then and there in the movie, you're like, are you getting kind of tired of fan service? And at this point, especially with everything that's going on, it's being... And people are like... And, I'm not going to lie. I threw my devil horns up for fan service. I was like, yeah, serve me as a fan. But now it's kind of like being shoved down my throat, trying to tell me what I'm supposed to be liking in this thing, where I'm just like, yes, I know what this is. This is Jurassic Park. This is Jurassic World. I understand that. I know all these references. I get it. I get the fact that you just recreated another scene from the first movie. I get that you did that. Give me something new.
Yeah. Well, that's so here's ultimately how I put it too, is it's like being served your favorite meal. And you're like, oh man, I really, really like this. The first time someone serves it to you. Serve it to you again, you're like, okay, no, I still like this. This is my favorite thing to eat. So cool. This is being served at the 500th time in a row. And you're like, okay, I want to try something new. Can you give me something new? Like, don't get me wrong, I still want dinner. I don't want, like, breakfast. I want dinner. But now you just keep serving me the same meal. So
yeah, well, it's
something. It's
just like Black Adam, the Black Adam channel. I watched it a few times, and I'm more going for the Justice Society stuff than Black Adam himself.
Well, what's the last time The Rock played anything different?
Yeah, well, that too.
I love him. I do, but like.
And I told you that scene where the Wakanda jet
jumps out of it.
Jumps out. I'm like, how many times can that be done? Over and over again, where someone's taking that one dive out of the ship, and it's supposed to be cool, but for me now, it's not cool anymore.
I'd love for one time when they're doing that, the door just not to open.
Or as soon as they're going down, the door closes. It catches their arm or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things where even the wife asked me, but she's like, are you getting kind of tired of superhero movies? I was like, yes and no. I go, but it's just like with DC, they tried to start this whole Snyderverse thing, and then Warner Brothers was like, let's just do our own thing now. It's like, okay, well, now you're just following formulas, and that's what I think Black Adam's going to be. It's going to be very formulaic to... and the guy that's directing it is the guy that did Jungle Cruise.
Mm-hmm. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so very formulaic, I believe when they bring the twist on, he's going to be a villain.
Yeah.
I know we're far from Obi-Wan, but that's what it comes down to with Star Wars at this point. And I hope when we get the Ahsoka series, and I hope when we get the next Mandalorian. See, Mandalorian, right then and there. That was something new. Even though we introduced Baby Grogu, but Baby Grogu was part of the story of, and especially evolving his character to being this father figure, it was something new and refreshing. Boba Fett was not that. Boba Fett was a very slow burn, and we all started caring and actually giving a fuck when Mando actually came back. We're like,
well, because we talked about that episode, because that was like what, episode 5 or something like
Yeah.
that. And it's like, so this was just an episode of Mando. This wasn't even an episode of
and the
Boba
next
Fett.
episode was a Mando.
Yeah.
You know, and those were the 2 best episodes of the show
See,
that's supposed to be about Boba Fett.
I just didn't like the storytelling of Boba Fett, where I was just like, if you'd done it in chronological order. You don't just start with him in the back to tank. Oh, this is everything that happened.
Every time he
goes
hits
in
that
the
back to tank, we
you
gotta
a
get the flashback.
Like, just tell the story of the Tusken Raiders thing initially up front. Have that be it, and then have him move from there. Like, show the progression in a linear fashion.
I was thinking of this, like the Book of Boba Fett. Okay, they kept on calling it the book of Boba Fett. I was thinking with the flat, like what you're saying they should have done. You could have made the first 2 episodes book 1, second 2 episodes book 2. You know, it's
You mean book or chapter?
or chapter. You know, chapter. You know, yeah, chapter 1 of like him in the desert. Chapter 2, him here. But it was just like, oh, he's in the back to tank. I guess we're gonna get a flashback. Oh, there's the flashback. You know. And I don't know, man. I'm really liking Obi-Wan. I don't want anybody to be like I'm downing it or anything like that. I just want something new, and I'm waiting for the big fight part 2 between Vader and Obi-Wan. I hope it's as brutal as the one on Mustafar in episode 3, or even more brutal, because freaking Darth Vader's like, I'm gonna burn you, man, and that's not just it. I ain't gonna kill you now. I'm gonna burn you. Set the flames down, then go do some more things to you, then put you in so much pain that I have been in. And I did really like when Obi-Wan was in the back to tank, and it was going back and forth between him and Anakin. And I was just like, that's, that dynamic. I'm like, that's what I wanted with the show, but now I have to worry about Leia.
Yeah. Well, and I really, okay, so to Kenobi, though, I really think that, because if the first season ends with him communicating with Qui-Gon. Like, if we get a Liam Neeson thing and we have Qui-Gon show up, I'm going to be kind of annoyed. Because if they're doing a second season, that's what it should all be leading up to. Not the end of the first season.
They announced Qui-Gon's back for season 2 as a ghost.
As a ghost.
But they can't show it in China.
Yeah. No. I mean, and to be completely honest with Kenobi, I mean, I'm 4 episodes into that. We'll be, 5 and 6 soon. I'm more likely to make it through that series than I am Miss Marvel. So,
and that's, I would say, let's give a couple more episodes, and we'll dive into that next week.
Okay.
All right. All right, y'all. I so far my rating as of now, I would say out of 10, I would say I'm sitting at a 5. I'm sitting at a hard 5 right now, because I'm like, I need to see the payoff. It's kind of like...
Man, that's every show. No, it's not just kind of like, that's every Disney Plus show that we've talked about.
It's the payoff.
It's that you're just like, man, I am middle of the ground on this. It was Bad Batch. It was...
Mando wasn't.
No, well, but we didn't really talk much about Mando. But Bad Batch, then we had... Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I think WandaVision, that came up as well.
Shit, Stranger Things season 4 pulled me in on that first episode, and I was like, I'm in. Like, I am here for the long ride. Give me these 1.5 hour episodes, and every episode was like, like, I was just like, okay, cool, I'm invested. Every episode here is like, okay, well, I guess till next week. I guess till next week.
Yeah.
Not like Mando, where I was like, oh, it's over? Damn it. That was awesome. I need to watch that again.
Ah, damn it.
No, I was like, But, all right. How about you?
I'll probably stay the same, but I'm a 5. I mean, middle of the road on it. We're past the midpoint of it. We're looking towards the end of it all. Now that you told me there's a second season.
Yeah, I can't really hear about that.
No, I don't pay a lot of attention to those kind of things, because I like to experience them as is. Like, a new Love and Thunder trailer came out. I'm not going to watch it. Like, I want to experience, they give so much things away, and a lot of things they talk about in these, so.
No, that's the part where I made a mistake with Jurassic World.
Yeah.
Because, like, through that whole movie, I was like, okay, I know where they're at now. Okay, that was in the trailer. Oh, there we go. Okay.
It's so weird that studios don't let you experience, like, between leaks and all the other stuff. But, yeah, I'm just staying at 5 for right now. We'll see how it goes. Well, even if I don't do the last 2 episodes with you, I'll tell you what my score is after the last one.
Oh, we will. Now, maybe we can get Phil, because he did the first 2, you did these, and then we get all of us together as overall.
Oh, that'll be a fun conversation.
All right, y'all. After that, you're going to like and subscribe. Share with your grandma, share with your grandpa, share with the bum down at Walmart. Also, go let us know. Wait, go let us know? Does that make sense?
I don't know. What's the rest of the sentence?
I don't know. Okay, let us know what you think of Obi-Wan Kenobi so far. And we have episode 5 next week, then episode 6. Where do you think it's going? Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? Do you think we're just being assholes? Be assholes, you know?
I mean, we're not being assholes just to be assholes, but if you think we're assholes, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. So, till next time. All right, y'all. I'm KMB the Sexy Ninja. Why am I waving at the thing? KMB the Sexy Ninja.
I'm Doug.
Oh, you wish you could see his face.
We'll see you guys next time.
Welcome to the wicked shit.